Hi, everyone. I'll give you a second to kind of get your audio working. Thank you all so much for being here, being on time. So grateful that you are all willing to share your Wednesday night with us. And we have some awesome speakers, so we're really excited to get started. Let's see how everyone's doing with audio. It looks like almost everyone's connected. Okay. So first and foremost, we are going to take a picture. We did this last month, if you'll remember. I love taking pictures with everyone who comes to the workshops because it helps us not only see who comes, but it also helps us kind of get to know our speakers a little bit better. We get some fun pictures throughout the year. So if everyone could turn on their cameras for just a second, hopefully you leave them on, because I know that we've asked you to do that before, but if not, that's fine too. I'll just be sad. Okay, so let me find our speakers really quick. I'm gonna pin them at the top so that we can all see them and remember that they're the ones who spoke. Let's see, where did Cristina go? There she is. Okay. And then I'm going to go to gallery here. All right, so there are two screens that I have to take a screenshot of. So just keep smiling, and I'm going to take two different screenshots for us. Okay. Okay, ready, everyone? Smile. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, page 2. Everyone keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. So cute. Look at you all. Amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, so we are going to dive right in. And there we go. Okay. Don't forget that every time you come to a workshop, your name gets entered into a drawing for an extra $1,000 scholarship. So that would just be additional and on top of any scholarship that you apply for from Women Who Succeed. So it's just like a fun little extra thing that we're doing this year. So you can either use that QR code to scan it and put your name into the form there. Or you can use the chat or the link in the chat. Hold on, let me draw that up really quick. Oh, there's the link. Thanks, Ellery. Okay, so you can use that link that Ellery just commented to enter your name in for your entry into the drawing. Once again, I'm not going to go through everyone's names and take the attendance. So if your name isn't going to be in this form, then I won't know that you came. So just keep that in mind. And while you're taking attendance, I am going to give a few announcements, and they are important announcements. So please try to listen as you're filling in that form. There are two very important things that I want to talk about before we get started. And the first one is Girls Give Back. Girls Give Back is an event that we have been talking about since the program started, since you all joined as mentees. It's happening on November 3rd. So that is the first Thursday of November. And that is the second in-person meeting that we're going to have. It's going to be your opportunity to meet with your mentees. And we are doing it at the U. We're going to do it at the Ken Garff Scholarship Club. It's a really nice, cool place. It's right on the field of the Rice Eccles Stadium. So it's really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be an opportunity for you to meet with your mentorship groups and meet the team again. We're going to be packaging hygiene kits for Volunteers of America, which is going to be a great way to give back and to do some service. But an important note for this event is we are going to be feeding you. It's from 5:30 to 7:30. And so we are going to have food for you, but I need to know if you're going to come. I need to get those numbers in. And in order to do that, I need you to register on our Eventbrite link that we've sent out a few times. I'm going to put it in the comments right now in the chat here. And we're just going to take a second. I need you all to go to this link. If you can come, please, please, please register for it right now. If you can't come, then here's my email. You got to send me an email and tell me that you're not coming. Unfortunately, Eventbrite doesn't let you like say that you're not coming, but I need you to tell me if you are not coming so I can get those final numbers. And so I have to make like a seating arrangements and everything, and I need to know who's going to be there. Please take a minute to fill that out right now because it's getting closer. You should know what your schedule is by now. It is a required event if you want the round 2 scholarships to be able to come. If you have any concerns or if you're worried that it's on a school night or whatever, email me. Let's talk about it and we can get going on that. So this is, Alina, that's a great question. We are good on help. Thank you so much. I think you're good just to bring yourself as long as you're there and you can meet with your mentees and your mentor and your fellow mentees, then that's perfect. Just yourself would be great. But please, please, please let us know if you're going to come so that we know how much food to order and we know how many seats to have and we know how many hygiene kits we're going to prepare to make and to donate to Volunteers of America. Again, if you cannot come, please email me. I just put my email in the chat as well. It's really, really important that you let me know either way. Okay. So even if you know you're not going to come, even if you're not sure, please email me right now or right after this workshop to let me know kind of where you're at on that. Okay. Second big announcement, scholarships for round 1. The applications are opening on November 1st and it's only open for 2 weeks. Keep that in mind. I'm going to send out another email about this in a few days with more details about it, kind of give you the guidelines of the scholarships. But this is me telling you, keep an eye out for the scholarship guidelines and for the instructions for how to do that. We're going to have 2 rounds. This is the first round of scholarship applications in order to gauge your engagement in the first half of the program, if that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, you're also welcome to email me with questions since I am the one that is over scholarships for Women Who Succeed as well. So if you have any concerns or questions about the scholarships, let me know. I'll be happy to help. But do keep in mind that you only have 2 weeks. You only have 15 days to get those scholarships in. So be prepared to set some time aside if you're that busy to fill it out. It shouldn't take you that long if you are interested in getting the scholarships, but have that in the back of your mind. Okay, now we're going to get to the fun part where I stop talking and we hear from some awesome guest speakers. And we are going to start with Hannah. Hannah is going to start us off here and she is going to she's going to talk a little bit about communicating effectively, like what we've been talking about all the month of October. So Hannah, she moved to Salt Lake City in 2011. And while she was pursuing her professional ski career, and Hannah's a US registered patent and trademark attorney and currently works as an intellectual property attorney. So she is developing her practice around registering, licensing, and enforcing patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets for clients in a variety of industries. And when Hannah has free time, she fills it in by teaching avalanche courses and ski guiding in the Wasatch Mountains here in Utah. Hannah is obviously going to give herself a little bit more background, but I appreciate so much her time in being here. She just gave an awesome presentation to our junior mentees. So I'm really excited for you all to see it as well, especially if any of you are Legally Blonde fans. So Hannah, I'm going to turn that to you. You should be good to share your screen already.
Not yet. It still says I'm not allowed to.
Oh, darn it. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. And everyone can see it? Yeah. Good. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. And I am looking forward to talking to you all about networking and communicating effectively in a professional manner. you're going to notice lots of Elle Woods pictures. I'm a big Legally Blonde fan. So the fact that I can use her in a presentation is very special for me. So bear with me. Okay, so this is a bit about me. Sydney already told you that I'm an intellectual property attorney. That means that I work with patents, trademarks, copyrights, anything that is considered protectable property that you might think of. So patents are inventions, copyrights are paintings and books and other types of art. Trademarks are brand names. Trade secrets are like Coca-Cola's recipe for their Coca-Cola. So in addition to doing that, I used to be a competitive skier. Now I ski guide in my free time. And Elle Woods is my muse. So I'm going to cover the differences between professional networking and student networking. We're going to learn how to identify and manage your network, introduce yourself, work a room, and then email like a professional. So it's going to be a lot. If you need any of this afterwards, I'm happy to send you slides. Sydney can send you any of the slides. Just let us know. So briefly to go over professional networking, these are some of the things that I do, and professionals like me will do this in our daily lives to build our professional networks. So first is meet your coworkers. I work at a large law firm with offices across the country. So I don't necessarily see everyone I work with every day, and I don't know other people in other offices. So it's really important for me to stay in touch with people in other offices, introduce myself to them so that if issues come up, maybe a client needs some type of work done that I have an expertise in, they can say, oh yeah, we need Hannah, we're gonna reach out to her and put her on your case. And the other way around, I can recommend other attorneys, and that way we both help each other. Also, stay in touch with old coworkers, professors, and classmates, because you never know who down the road you're going to cross paths with again. So it's really great to constantly stay in touch. And one way to do that is through your LinkedIn. So since you're all college students, you should all have a LinkedIn that's active, that you've spent some time curating, and it's going to come in really handy. This is your living resume. So make sure that your online presence reflects how you want to be seen to potential employers. Another thing I do regularly is attend industry events. So any conferences that are relevant to what I do, I might attend industry events. I've attended fashion law conferences, which are really fun. And that's an opportunity for me to meet other people in the industries I want to work with. So it's a great way for me to build my network. I also serve on boards of organizations in a board of directors role. And that's a great way to have an impact on your community outside of work and to meet people who might not be in your regular network of people who you would meet in your everyday professional life. Join community groups. So Women Who Succeed is one community group that I'm a part of. And extracurricular activities are a really great way to meet people, whether that's golf, tennis, skiing, hiking, ultimate frisbee, kickball, anything. It's a great place to meet people. All right, so networking as a student. It's slightly different than professional networking, but I think you're going to see a lot of parallels between the two. So first, a little deviation from Legally Blonde. Mean Girls had to make an appearance for this slide. First of all, be nice to everyone you meet. You never know when the people you knew in college or high school are going to come back into your professional life. And the best thing that you can do is leave college with people having a good sense of who you are and a positive association with you, so that down the road when you guys run into each other, they can say, oh yeah, like so-and-so, it's like great to see you again. and they're excited about it. And then they can tell their friends, hey, this person works in that industry. We went to college together. They're great. And that's a way to make sure that you have a strong network. So your reputation matters. So be nice. Join school clubs. This is like joining professional organizations. You don't necessarily have to be the president of every organization that you join. And that's not for a lot of people. If you are the president type, definitely go for that. I'm not, though I actually do lead an organization by accident. But you can also have a leadership role without being the head of the organization. So think secretary, treasurer, or any other roles that are available to you. As long as you're interested in the organization, you still get to have a voice, and you're a decision maker. And that's a really great thing to have on a resume. It's a really great way to meet people. Also, volunteering for community organizations. So this is making friends outside of your normal network. So in the community, these groups, you might volunteer at like a food bank or with another group, and you're going to meet people who are all different ages, different backgrounds. And that's a nice way to expand your network beyond the people you would regularly meet. Cultivate a professional online image. So you all probably know this, but the internet is forever. So think before you post and really put effort into creating your LinkedIn. I know you probably hear this from everyone in this group over and over again, but LinkedIn is really that important. It is how people will find you, and they'll go, oh yeah, I met this person. Their name was, I think it was Sarah A, and they go to this school and they're interested in this. And you can find, how to do like the creepy Facebook stalking. People will do that on LinkedIn and they will find you. So make sure that your online presence is what you want to show an employer. Another great way to use LinkedIn, and you're not limited to LinkedIn to do this, but it is very useful, and I've done this before, is reach out to professionals in the industries that you're interested in. So say you want a job in politics and you notice that you found someone on LinkedIn, you saw their profile, they're involved in some local community political groups or like political organizing. You can reach out to them via LinkedIn. Very easy, painless, and something that people do regularly. I've had students, both college students and law students, reach out to me via LinkedIn, and I'm always happy to set aside some time to talk to them and answer any questions. So you'll find that most people are very willing to help out. So use LinkedIn to your advantage. Also, reach out to your professors. They have a lot of knowledge in the space that they're teaching in. They probably, not just probably, they definitely know someone who you want to know. So make it known to your professor what you're interested in doing. If there are certain internships you're looking for, certain jobs you want to try out and see if they're right for you, they can point you in the right direction and probably happily put you in touch with their connections. Also find mentors. So you have mentors already through Women Who Succeed, but additionally, don't be limited just by the people you've known through this organization. So you can also ask your current mentors, say, hey, I'm interested in this. Do any of the other members of Women Who Succeed work in these industries? We can help set you up with other other Women Who Succeed members. Additionally, again, use that LinkedIn profile, use your network to find people who might be able to teach you more or connect you with the right people who can give you the opportunities to learn more about what you're interested in. And finally, internships and job opportunities. This is a great way to figure out both what you do and what you don't want to do. I spent a summer working in media in New York City, and I quickly learned that was not what I want to do, but that was still really productive because it helped me figure out where I wanted to go. All right, so, and this is one of those things that if you want this afterwards, I'm happy to send this to you. So this is a nice way to start kind of workshopping what your network looks like. So start out by thinking who you're connected with right now. This can be your family, friends, neighbors, teachers, coworkers, members of your religious community, or other people who you interact with regularly. So that's your immediate network. So next you're going to think about who are these people connected to? So maybe your friend works for somebody who knows somebody else. There's lots of a couple degrees of separation in professional networks. So you want to kind of ask the people in your network, who do they work with? Who do they know? What backgrounds, experiences, and acquaintances do those people have who can help you build your network? Oops. Okay, so what are your interests and goals? So I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life for a career until I was 25. So don't feel pressured to know anything right now, but you should have clear interests and goals. And once you have those completely fleshed out so you can articulate those to people, it will be much easier to figure out what connections you need to make to achieve those goals or to explore those interests. So definitely make sure that you're knowledgeable about your goals so that you can talk to them, and you can also recognize important names and resources when you're in conversations with people about them. Okay, and then think about what kind of relationships do you want or need to build. So this is can be mentoring relationships, they can be professional relationships. It could be someone who you just ping once in a while to ask a couple questions to. It totally depends on your goals and your field of interest. So just do what works for you. All right, so once you've mapped out your network, you need to manage your network and engage with them, and in order to keep growing it. So to develop your current connections, that means staying in touch with people. It means checking in once in a while to say, hi, how's it going? And it means like maybe going out to lunch, like doing things to keep your connections current. Also, you can use connections with people you're closer to who you might feel more comfortable with to help you practice describing your interests and goals. The more you do this will help you be able to rattle this off in 20 seconds or less at the drop of a hat, and it will become so fluid that it just sounds like the most natural piece of information to give someone. So really take the time to practice your elevator pitch. Again, keep an up-to-date resume. LinkedIn, very important, keep that up to date. Also, a great way to engage on LinkedIn is to share professional articles. So I think most of you have had some experience with LinkedIn and you understand that it's a professional, I hate to say Facebook because I'm personally not a Facebook fan anymore, but it's a professional social network, and a great way to engage people in conversation is to share a post that is professional, maybe some way related to something that you're interested in, and share a few words about it to engage with people. Next, I would communicate in a way that you're most comfortable with. Some people are more extroverted, they're more comfortable standing up on stage and giving a speech or presenting. Other people are a little more reserved, and email is maybe your most comfortable way of communicating. Do what works for you because that's how you're going to come across the clearest. Also, keep track of who you've met and follow up. So once you start building your network, LinkedIn, when you start making connections, you sort of get this natural network because you connect with people and you can reference your friend list or your connection list to see who you met in certain industries. So it's very useful, but keep track of who you met and follow up because one-off meetings aren't going to build the connection that you need. And so to that end, make sure that you're setting networking goals. Figure out who you want to meet, or in what industries, how many connections you want to make. Maybe someone runs an internship program that you're very interested in. Make it a goal to meet that person. And this will help you to keep growing your network. All right. So we're going to talk about introducing yourself, and Elle Woods is going to give us an example.
Cool.
Me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Elle Woods, and this is Freezer Woods, and we're both Gemini vegetarians. I have a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising from CULA, and I was a Zeta Lambda Nu sweetheart, president of my sorority Delta Nu, and last year I was homecoming queen. Oh, 2 weeks ago, I saw Cameron Diaz at Fred Siegel, and I talked her out of buying this truly heinous Angora sweater. Whoever said orange is the new pink was seriously disturbed.
All right, so Elle does a great job at introducing herself. Though it's funny, she still hits all the right points. She says her name, she's Elle Woods. Interesting fact about her, she's a Gemini vegetarian. Relevant experience, bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising from CULA. An example of when her experience was useful was when she talked Cameron Diaz out of buying a totally heinous Angora sweater. And finally, she was 110% herself. So these are all the things you want to include when introducing yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. It's whatever works for you. Might help to start with your name, but otherwise do what feels the most natural, but make sure that these pieces of information are in there. Okay, so networking in real life. I mean, these days it can still be virtual, but think an event where you actually get to talk to real live people. First, do your homework, research the event, and get to know who is going to be there. A lot of events that you might go to in college, or any events that are professional events that you might be invited to as a college student, they'll sometimes have lists of people who are attending just so that you can set up meetings beforehand with them. So if there's someone who you want to meet, research them, reach out beforehand, set up a time to meet. And it's very effective. I've done this before, and I highly recommend it. Next, present yourself purposely. This means dressing event appropriate. It doesn't always mean full business suit. It could just mean like dressing like you're in a professional setting. Honestly, I still have no idea what business casual means. So I've sort of figured it out on a case by case basis. And if you ever have questions, ask a friend. Also shake hands with people and make eye contact when you shake hands, and speak clearly when you tell them your name. Come off as like confident and well-spoken. That's probably the best first impression that you can give. And once you've engaged in conversation with someone, try to ask more questions than you answer. More questions lead to better conversations, and that makes a bigger impression. And again, back to the internet and LinkedIn, utilize and maintain your online persona so you can tell people who you meet, yes, I have a LinkedIn profile. Here's the link. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'll follow you back, and follow up with people through LinkedIn. LinkedIn messages are very useful, and you should absolutely be using them. And again, on following up, in order to maintain connections that you make at events, it will take more than a one-off meeting to build that relationship. So make sure you follow up with them. It can be via email, LinkedIn message, whatever is most practical. And finally, practice. Networking is very hard. And if you're an introverted person like I am, it can take a lot out of you. So I recommend attending social events and practicing introducing yourself to people. Start with some small events, maybe some club events at school, and work up to maybe more professional events. Say there's a biotech conference at the U that you want to attend and meet people who have PhDs or something like that. That would be your big event to work up to. Okay, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is actually the title of a book. But in this book, forget the guy's last name, his first name's Dale, but he gives a few tips for how to engage with people in conversation. So bring positivity to the conversation. If, for example, if you had a bad experience with a professor or an employer, it's not good form to complain about them in the conversation, even if the other person says something that maybe opens the door to that sort of comment. Be positive, be professional. So yeah, no criticizing, condemning or complaining. Be genuine and generous in your praise and acknowledgement of others. Think about, and this goes for pretty much all of these, how you like to feel when you're speaking to someone. You want to speak with someone who has good energy, is positive, is maybe like shows that they're very interested in speaking to you. So, and again, that goes back to listening more than you speak and listening with a real desire to understand and not just listening to be prepared with your next question. And doing this, you can help make the other person feel important, but do it sincerely. There is definitely an element of sucking up that comes into networking, especially as a student when you're meeting people who are in positions of power, but be sincere in your interest and your conversation, because you know when people are BSing and it's not helpful. So if you want to build a genuine relationship, do it with sincerity. And then finally, remember their name. So the easiest way to make someone feel important is to remember their name. So that's the number one thing you can do. And if you have a hard time remembering names, practice, whether it's saying their name back to them or finding another way that works for you to remember their name. All right, and finally, and this is not a book title, this is me, How to Reach Out, Follow Up, and Not Be Incredibly Awkward Over Email. So emails to professionals can give people a lot of anxiety because you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, you want to sound professional. And I think the more you stress over it, is really just all unnecessary stress. Most of the people you're going to be communicating with want to hear from you. As long as you are putting in the effort to put together a good email to them, you're going to do just fine. So first, make sure that you have a professional email address. Since you're all in college, you should have a school email address. If for some reason you don't, or you want to use a different email address, save Fluffy Bunny 57 for save it for your junk mail. Don't use that to communicate with potential employers. So something clean, just your name. Yeah, school emails are great. Next, the subject line, make sure it's to the point. So here I have my name and it says I'm following up on an internship. Something to that effect. It can also be, it was great to meet you at so-and-so event, or something that will remind them who this could be. Next, address the person appropriately. Mr., Ms., Doctor, and start with that with the last name. I wouldn't go right into first names, especially if you don't know them personally beyond an initial conversation. Also, as far as emailing other women, I always use MS or Ms. I never write MRS, just because I think it's more professional to not make assumptions about people. So I think MS works really well. Next, keep the email concise. not when you're writing the email. When you're writing, try to just write, get it all out on the screen. After that, then go back and edit and tighten up any sentences to make sure that your ideas come across very clearly. Also make it easy to read, so no weird fonts, no bright colors. Stick to, I would say, blue or black font and blue or black color, and then any easy to read font. You shouldn't type like this, smiley face. Save abbreviations for texting with your friends, and the same goes for emojis. Be professional. This probably goes without saying, but as a reminder, you have to write professionally. Also be kind and thankful for the person's time. That's a really nice way to acknowledge the other person. Be yourself. Professional emails can be stuffy, but once you get the hang of writing them, let your personality come through, because you are a person and you are writing to a person, and you should show that you are. There is a person behind this email with a personality. So let that come through. Also, if this is someone you're following up with from an event, refresh their memory. Say, for example, I really enjoyed our conversation about sports, just to give them something to remember what you were talking about. It makes it easier for them to respond to you. Proofread, big deal. Make sure you go back and reread your email before you send it. Silly typos can be embarrassing, especially ones that are very easily avoided. So proofread before you send. And finally, have an appropriate signature. So thank you works great. Also sincerely, best, cheers. Something that is concise and appropriate. If you need any guidance on that, there are lots of web resources for appropriate signatures. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. Sydney, do you want me to do questions now or wait till the next one?
Yeah, you can do questions now.
All right, does anyone have any questions? And you can either type them in the chat or yes, you can type them in the chat or just unmute if anyone has any questions. And Sydney did put the name of the book in the chat. So I'm not sure I understand this question. And forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Nardu? Here, can you unmute? Sydney, do you know who that is?
Yeah, Nardis, do you want to expand on your question a little bit? Can you come off mute and kind of ask it again? Maybe.
Sorry, I'm just.
What's that? Do you need the room?
Yeah, I was just talking about the certificates she had.
Okay.
Let's see.
1 second. I'll call you back.
At the beginning of the slideshow, I don't know a lot of information about it.
Certificates. Stop me if you see the slide that.
Oh, it's at the beginning. Yes, right there. It said Avalanche course instructor.
Avalanche course? Yeah, so do you ski at all? or know any like, so like in Utah, skiing is really big, and in our mountains here, we have lots of people backcountry skiing, so that's skiing outside of a ski resort where the terrain isn't controlled by the ski patrol. And a big problem out west is avalanches, and avalanches are deadly, and it's learning about how to map out a ski tour or a trip in the backcountry. It's like hiking in winter, but with your skis, and how to do it safely. So what I am certified to do as a ski guide and avalanche course instructor is I teach people how to do that, how to watch the weather, learn about snowpack, and just how to stay safe in the mountains and how to rescue if worst comes to worst. Does that answer your question?
All right. I think, yeah. And then you had one more question in the comments. How
Yeah,
do you
so-
find internships?
Yeah, so internships, you have so many resources right now. I would start at your school. I'm sure your school's career office can point you in the right direction. Google is your best friend. You'd be surprised how much you can find just by searching. It's good to search with an objective if you know there's an industry that you're really interested in, or there's a certain type of internship that you want. Search for that. And I mean, the options are really endless. If you're looking for an internship at a specific company, you can usually go to a company's career page, and they should, if they do internships, they should have a section for interns, and they'll tell you when you should be applying and what you need to apply. So there are so many resources. And then finally, LinkedIn, again, is useful. You can find internships on LinkedIn. You can also research professionals who are working in industries where you want to work or have jobs that you are interested in potentially pursuing. And you can just message them, introduce yourself, start a conversation. So again, this is building your network, and ask them if they know of any internship opportunities at their company, or if they can point you in the right direction or introduce you to anyone who can give you those opportunities.
Women Who Succeed also has a Google folder with internship opportunities specifically from Women Who Succeed members. So there's the link for that if you want to kind of check that one out. We kind of try to update it as much as we can and keep adding new ones as well. So you're always welcome to use the Women Who Succeed network for those as well. Awesome. So if there aren't any more questions for Hannah, if there are any more questions, throw them in the chat and we can answer them towards the end. But we have one more awesome speaker, and Hannah, I want to thank you so much for your presentation and all of your tips and Elwood's references. Loved it. Absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Ladies, I want to introduce you to our second speaker for the night. Her name is Cristina. You probably saw her at the Women Who Succeed conference in May, and you are going to see her at Girls Give Back. You've probably seen her at a few other events and other things that we've done. She is one of our Women Who Succeed ambassadors, and she has agreed to speak to you as well about communicating effectively. And so I just want to introduce her to you really quick. Make sure I say everything I need to say. Okay, so let's see. Cristina is an immigrant who was forced to escape an economic crisis in Peru at an incredibly early age. Cristina is one of the most prominent Latina journalists in the state of Utah. She's reported for Univision 32, Telemundo Utah, KTV, and ABC4. She hopes to become a social innovator, communicator, and public servant for the immigrant and under-resourced communities in the U.S. And so with that, Cristina, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let me make sure that you can share your screen here. Hold on one second.
Thank you.
All right, you should be able to do that now.
Okay. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Sydney, for allowing me to speak today. And it's a pleasure to speak to this great group of young girls who I think they are the oldest, right? In comparison to the last group. Okay, great. So it's really good to meet you all. I'll be really quick because I know it's getting kind of late and you'll want to do other things. But I'll basically be reiterating what Hannah explained about communicating effectively, and communicating effectively, or communication, has been part of my life ever since I went to college, and it continues to be up until this day. And it's something that I really enjoy doing and getting better at. And I truly believe that communicating effectively is a way to use our voices to empower not only ourselves, but other people as well. There's just a picture of me. On the left-hand side is me at 10 years old when I had just recently immigrated to the United States. I did not speak a word of English. And so communicating for me was pretty difficult back then. And it continues to be a challenge, but obviously it's something that I've been working on for so long that I feel like I've finally gotten the hang of. And that's just on the right. It's a picture of me and my cousins and my little sister. I am from Peru originally. Like I said, I immigrated to the United States when I was 10. I went to live in New Jersey. I'm from the Jersey Shore area. That's a picture of me and my family on the right-hand side. Under that picture is me with a traditional folk costume or dance outfit. I really enjoy dancing to traditional folk dance from Peru. And on the left-hand side is a picture of France. I really love France. That's where I served a religious mission a while back. And of course, it's a picture of Jesus Christ, and he's everything to me. He's helped me a lot throughout my career. Like Sydney mentioned, I was a journalist for Univision. I also did some work for ABC4, Telemundo, BYU TV, and Spanish Fork. And I'm currently pursuing a Master's of Public Administration at Brigham Young University. And I am preparing, hopefully to be a social innovator for under-resourced communities here somewhere in the US. I volunteer for quite a bit of nonprofit organizations that advocate for minorities or under-resourced communities or young people. My career journey has been an interesting one. I've kind of been everywhere. But believe it or not, it's been a wonderful experience where I've been able to acquire the communication skills that I currently have. And I continue to develop those skills. It's a constant process or progress. That's a quote that I really like about communication. And it says, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And often you will, as you continue to grow and experience, gain professional or personal experience in this world, you will notice that communication is a huge prominent skill for your success. But often we as humans sometimes we don't really communicate effectively, especially when we're working in teams and groups, and that's okay. It's part of the process, and that's why I truly believe that it's something that we have to continue to work on. So why do we use effective communication? It really helps us to influence others. Our capacity to communicate is often seen, believe it or not, as an indicator of our ability and intelligence. And it will help us to kind of sell ourselves to those organizations that we're really interested in working for or volunteering for. So 3 goals of communication are, the first one is to inform, the second one is to persuade, and the third one is to build relationships. As a journalist, I was constantly doing all 3 of these. And sometimes I didn't even realize it, but it's something that I'm very thankful for. Every day I got to the studio and I began networking. For example, I use different tools such as social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, a ton of Facebook, phone, text, and email to reach out to those that I thought would be really good people to interview for different news stories. And of course, communication will help you to persuade others, to speak up for others, for yourself, first of all, and those that don't have a voice. As a multimedia bilingual journalist, I was a voice for my community, and often the members of my community were immigrants who had arrived to the US, and they didn't either have a education or experiences, or didn't feel confident enough to communicate their needs to leaders of the community. And so in a way, I was communicating those needs to leaders of the community so that we could bring we could bring these needs to people's attention, and change could happen. So networking, I know it's already been talked about, but networking is huge. Is the process of making connections and building relationships, whether it is with new people to make new friends or professionally. Networking will get you to a lot of different places and will grant you huge opportunities. It will really help you to maintain your professional relationships and personal relationships as well, because as much as you don't think you're making a connection for professional purposes, you might be in the long run. Let's say you meet someone new at a party or an event, and you become friends with that person. You might not think that that person might help you find your ideal job in the future, but 5 or 10 years down the road, if you're still in touch with that friend, or if you're still connected to that friend might get you your dream job or connect you to someone that is hiring for your dream job. You just never know. So did you know that 70 to 85% of jobs are secure through networking? I can testify of this. It really has been the way for me to acquire my different jobs that I've had throughout my time as either a marketing director or a journalist or a current MPA candidate at BYU. Let's see. So how do you start networking, right? There's tons of different ways you can network, but the first thing we really should keep in mind is that you really need to know how to sell yourself. You need to know what your personal brand is, and a way to share your personal brand and what you're all about is through an elevator pitch. And maybe a lot of you have heard what an elevator pitch is, or some of you might have heard about this, but it's basically what you give to a recruiter when he or she is interviewing you for a position. And a lot of you might be looking for internships at the moment, or even jobs, or will be getting there soon. So I encourage a lot of you, or all of you, to start practicing identifying your pitch. So what is the purpose of a pitch? First of all, it tells the recruiter or the person that you're presenting yourself to, it tells them about yourself. So you want to highlight your personality, your skills, and your experiences. You also want to tell them why you're the best qualified candidate. Don't be shy. I know sometimes it's really hard, especially when we tend to be shy. It's hard to kind of show off, but this is, I promise you, this is the moment you need to. They really want to know why you specifically are the best of the candidate, or the best candidate out of all of the candidates that are applying for that position. So you only have one shot and you got to make it good, right? And of course, you do need to make sure that you're doing it in chronological order. So always have in the back of your head, know what your experiences have been, your achievements, and what your goals are for the future, and where do you see yourself in the next couple years. Always have that in mind, and always practice your pitch. And your pitch for each position that you're going to be interested in applying to, or you're going to be applying to, is going to be different. So you're always constantly going to have to change it and tailor it to each job position. This is something I really enjoy using. I'm currently a career mentor within the MPA program at BYU, and I use it myself, and I also share it with my mentees. I currently have 5 mentees that are currently looking for career opportunities, internships, as well as jobs. And a few of them have already used this transition steps pitch document to create their pitch and give their pitch. And as you can see, it's a really self-explanatory. It's a very well-detailed transition document, or transition steps pitch document that you can also use. If you need it, reach out to me, I'll send it to you, and I really recommend it. Now I'm gonna show you, let's see, a video really fast to wrap it up. This is a video of Anne Hathaway giving her pitch strip in The Devil Wears Prada, and it's a really comical one, and I really like it. Sydney, can you tell me if you can hear?
Who are you?
My name is Andy Sachs. I recently graduated from Northwestern University.
And what are you doing here?
Well, I think I could do a good job as your assistant. And, yeah, I came to New York to be a journalist and sent letters out everywhere, and then finally got a call from Elias Clark and met with Sherry up at Human Resources, and basically it's this or Auto Universe.
So you don't read Runway?
No.
And before today, you had never heard of me?
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
I was editor-in-chief of the Daily Northwestern. I also won a national competition for college journalists with my series on the Janitors Union, which exposed the
That's all.
exploitation of... Yeah, okay. You're right. I don't fit in here. I am not skinny or glamorous, and I don't know that much about fashion, but I'm smart. I learn fast, and I will work
All right,
very
I've got
hard.
the exclusive on the Cavalli for Gwyneth. But the problem is, with that huge feathered headdress that she's wearing, she looks like she's working the main stage at the Golden Nugget.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time.
Who is that sad little person? Are we doing a before and after piece I don't know about?
Okay. So as you can, that was a really cute video that I really like and that I've used with my mentees to show them what a pitch should be like. Of course, she showed two different examples, a good example of giving a good pitch, and a good example of giving a bad example of giving her pitch. So she gave her pitch correctly. In the beginning, she kind of had trouble, right? She wasn't too confident, but then she said she went right into highlighting her skills, her achievements, and she said, in perhaps not in direct words, but she did tell the recruiter, hey, I'm made for this position, I've done all of this, and I think I'm the best candidate. And that's how we really should be when we're applying to jobs and just different professional opportunities. There's just one more quote that I'd like to share to wrap it up. It says, it's from Beyonce, and it says, it's easy to hear the voices of others and often very difficult to hear your own. Every person you meet is going to want something different from you. The question is, what do you want for yourself? Again, that's me when I was little and I had a hard time communicating, and now that's me being the communicator I am. And even though I'm not perfect, I'm constantly working towards becoming one. And I know that all of you are in that process, whether you are an official communicator or not, you're still a communicator. You're communicating every day. You're communicating your goals, your ideals, your needs, and you're constantly networking as well. So continue to communicate, continue to network, continue to share who you are by giving your pitches, by communicating, whether it is verbally or through your body language. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. And if you ever need any help with your communication skills, you want to practice for an interview, or you want to know how to make a LinkedIn account or update your LinkedIn profile, I'm here to help. And I'm sure your mentors and Sydney and Mallory are there to help as well. Happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cristina. So if anyone has any questions, just hold off for just a second. Before any of you leave, I just want to reiterate, we really, really, really need your RSVP for Girls Give Back. I really need to know if you're coming or not. I just put that link again. If you are coming, please fill out this Eventbrite right now. If you're not coming, then I better get an email from you tonight, okay, letting me know what's going on. Or if you have any questions or concerns, also please email me. It's really important that I know and can get a count as soon as possible. And if you fill out the Eventbrite, that's you RSVPing and saying that you're going to come. So with that, does anyone have any questions or anything for Cristina or Hannah? Okay, if you do, you're welcome to reach out to me or reach out to them. Better yet, make your LinkedIn account and find them on LinkedIn, and then you can message them and ask your questions. That's what we'll do. Thank you all so much for staying a few minutes later. We really appreciate you being here. Cristina and Hannah, thank you so, so much. We appreciate you and your thoughts. So thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you at Girls Give Back on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you.